Okay, so we are starting our second lesson of Unit 2, and here we have two scholars who solved the same equation, but two different ways. They want to know which scholar we agree with. And then also, what did scholar A do differently than scholar B in the first step? We'll answer that on the next slide. So it gets cut off a little bit, but they both have the same answer. So they both agree that the answer is 5. But if I look at scholar A, I can see the first thing they did was subtract 3 on both sides. And theirs is kind of complicated, so I'm going to look at scholar B now. Scholar B, the first step, I see this and then parentheses, and I know they use the distributive property, right? That's what the parentheses are for. And then their equation looks much easier to solve because there's no more fractions. Whereas over here in scholar A's work, we still have fractions all the way through. And most people don't like working with fractions. So I think I agree, or I prefer what scholar A did. So what was the difference in the first step? Well, step 1, scholar B multiplied by 4 instead of subtracting 3. Multiplying by 4 seems to have made, sorry, my dog is playing with the buzzer. Multiplying by 4 seems to have made this equation much easier to solve because it got rid of the fractions. And then we just follow the steps. So looks like they did step 4 first, and they got the constants on the same side, and then they got the variables on the same side, and then they isolated. So it's not that I disagree with scholar A, but I prefer what scholar B did. So in the what did scholar B do to make the problem easier to solve? Scholar B multiplied both sides of the equation by 4 to get rid of the fractions. If you can make the problem easier to solve, you should. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn how to get rid of the fractions to make equations easier to solve.